Hello everyone, it's Joe here from Draft FPL and welcome to a weekly series helping you find some good value free agents and waiver pickups in Draft FPL. It's game week 24 this week, single game week, no blanks, no doubles, just straight up standard FPL game week, and I've got some decent picks looking ahead to this week and towards some of the carnage that is going to come in the next few weeks. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, we've got doubles, blanks, all sorts. So what I'm going to do is probably after the end of this game week, I'm going to post a video probably Sunday or Monday explaining all the doubles and blanks that are to come so we can get ahead of it there. But this week we are looking at the best picks for game week 24, so let's get stuck into it. Okay, then first up in defence we have got Semedo, available in 66% of draft leagues. That is courtesy of draftfc.co.uk as always. Bournemouth at home for Wolves this week. I really think Wolves are turning a corner. I think they look pretty good at the moment. I like the defence especially, and the attack. There are some exciting options in there as well, so you will see a few more orange kits in the video this week. Bournemouth at home specifically is a really nice fixture, and then in 25 they have a double game week. Fulham away, Liverpool away is not the easiest set of fixtures, but it's not the worst either. I mean, they did beat Liverpool at home 3-0 just a few weeks ago. So definitely not a terrible double game week. After that, Tottenham at home, Newcastle away is pretty tough. But I think for these 2 game weeks specifically, it looks really good. Bournemouth at home this week is great. And then obviously the double in the following week. Semedo is my favourite pick of the defenders. Dawson and Kilman look like the next 2, I think. Mainly because it looks like they're the most nailed as the centre-back partnership. And then the other fullback, we're looking at Bueno, I think. But Aït-Nouri did start the previous game, but then was subbed at half-time. So it's a little bit up in the air. But I think Semedo is the best mix of nailed and attacking threat as well. Next up, we're looking at the other team that double in game week 25, and that is Everton. The defender I've gone for is Mykolenko, available in 75% of leagues. Been a pretty reliable fixture this season. Barely missed a game all year. I think he might not have missed a game all year. And again, similar to Wolves, they've got a good fixture this week. Leeds at home, and then a double next game week, which is Villa at home, Arsenal away, which is pretty nice. Obviously that Arsenal away fixture is tough, but at least it's coupled with a decent one in Villa at home. They actually have a really nice run continuing on from that as well. Forest away and then Brentford at home in 26 and 27. I think an Everton defender is an absolute must pick up at the moment. Just for these next 4 game weeks, I think you could easily see 3 clean sheets out of these 5 games, 4 game weeks. So I think it's just an ideal time to pick one up. Not just the defence, will come on to the rest of the team as well, but I think the defence is probably the most likely source of points. Now they've got Deitch in, you know how he's going to play. It's going to be 4-4-2, maybe 4-5-1 in the tougher games, but they're going to sit deep, they're going to be very combative, and I think Everton actually have a really good set of players to use for this tactic. So the back 4 is where I'm looking for the most. Similar to Wolves, I think Mykolenko is the best option. Tarkowski I think is the second best option. At centre back, he's got good aerial threat as well, absolutely nailed on too. Connor Cody looks pretty set in stone as the other centre back, although he did have a bit of a stinker against Liverpool. But then the right back, we're looking at Coleman for the time being, although Patterson is now at least running on grass, but there is a little bit before he comes back from injury. I'm not sure if he'll be back before the end of this run of 4 fixtures, so Coleman might still be a good shout. Next up, we have got Pinnock. I think I tipped him last week, or the week before maybe. Available in 81% of leagues. Brentford are, at the moment, I think since the restart, something like the 4th, 5th best defence in the league. And I think anytime they've got a good fixture, it's just an easy team to back, really. And the fixtures are nice. It's a shame they blank in game week 25, although it wouldn't have been the easiest fixture anyway. I think they would have had United. So Palace at home in 24, Fulham at home in 26, and then a double game week in game week 27, Everton away, Saints at home. It's a great set of 3 fixtures. Obviously you can't load up too much because you will have to bench them in game week 25 when they blank, but for the other 3 fixtures outside that, they're really good, so I definitely think it's worth having at least one of them. On to mids, and the first person I'm going for is Madueke of Chelsea. Available in 90% of leagues. Went under the radar a little bit. They made so many signings. Obviously, it was quite difficult to figure out how they're going to line up. Mudryk and Felix kind of took the limelight as well. But I think Madueke looks like a good signing. And Sterling's got this phantom injury that no one really knows when he's going to be back or what's going on, which is very frustrating as a Sterling owner. But I do think Madueke looks like he's set to start against Saints in game week 24. Saints are in turmoil. They've just sacked the manager. Looked like Jesse March was going to come in, but it seems that just before I recorded this, those talks have now broken down. So they will almost certainly be managerless for game week 24. So it's a great time to play them. And Madueke, I think, will probably start in this game, and he looked pretty good, I thought, against West Ham. I think he was probably one of Chelsea's better attackers. So I think he's going to get the nod again, and I think it's a good week to go for him. Next up, back onto Everton. I cannot ignore these fixtures. Even in a Dyche team, I do think there are a few attackers that look worthwhile, and Iwobi is my guy. Available in 67% of leagues. I've spoken about the fixtures already, so I'm not going to go into too much detail, but they do look really, really good. And if they can keep this new manager bounce going, then I fancy them to do pretty well in this stretch. Iwobi playing wide looks like a solid pick to me, and I've also gone for McNeil as well, who's available in 95% of leagues, who is going to be playing on the other side. Takes a lot of the set pieces as well, which we know Dyche is going to try and attack. So I think either of these two, Iwobi or McNeil, are good picks. I think I'd probably slightly favour McNeil, just because I think he's going to have that real uplifting confidence, being obviously reunited with Sean Dyche. But I think either one of them is a really good pick. And in a similar fashion, I've got 2 Wolves players for you as well. I did speak about Sarabia last week, available in 90% of leagues. He's pretty much the only Wolves attacker that played the full 90 minutes against Saints. Obviously, he didn't get a return, which is a bit of a shame, but he did play reasonably well, and it shows quite a lot of faith that he didn't get substituted in that game when there was quite a lot of attacking rotation after the red card. Obviously, Bournemouth at home, fantastic fixture. Then it's a double game week, which I think for an attacker is even more exciting. If Sarabia has gone in your league, or you don't really fancy him and you want something a bit more fun, well, I think Adama Traore is actually quite a fun and viable option. Whether he starts or not is still up in the air. He did come on at half time against Saints and do pretty well in the second half, and it wouldn't surprise me to see him get a run out against Bournemouth this week. Available in 98% of leagues. He is a very, very fun fantasy asset to own. Quite frustrating as well, but it does get you off your seat. So I wouldn't advise not to get him, because I do think he is quite exciting, but you do have to prepare that he may not start. I think for game week 25, he's actually an even better pick, because you have that double game week. He will have a decent chance to get at least sort of 80-90 minutes under his belt over the 2 games. And yeah, I just think it's fun. Also, I think, when I think about that Liverpool game at Anfield, I do think Adama Traore is exactly the kind of player that Liverpool really struggle to handle. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if he does start that Liverpool away game. On to forwards, and I'm going back in for him again. Iheanacho, I tipped him last week. I told everyone, get on him. He's probably, well, I think he's definitely the most talented of the 3 Leicester forwards that Brendan Rodgers has to choose from. He's my favourite. He's done absolute bits for me in years gone past. Still available in 58% of leagues, which is really high. And the fixtures aren't great, But Leicester look like they're clicking again. Maddison's back from injury. They're fit and firing. Iheanacho with 2 returns last week, a goal and an assist. So he will. I'd be astonished if he's available in at least in more than 40% of leagues after this week. I think it'll probably be even less than that. So if you want him, you're probably going to have to put him as your top waiver priority, I would have thought, this week. And despite those fixtures, I still think Leicester are a good enough attacking side that they can score against anyone. And if Iheanacho's starting up front, then he has got a better chance than any of the rest of them. And my final pick for you this week is Cunha of Wolves, available in 92% of leagues. And it's just those 2 game weeks, 24-25, look really strong. He did get subbed off before the 60th minute against Saints, which is not ideal. But they were down to 10 men, and Diego Costa came on for him, and I just don't see Diego Costa getting too many minutes. I don't see him starting too many games, at least anyway. So I think Cunha is reasonably safe. I think he'll be first choice anyway. And the fixtures are really nice. He does look like quite a talented player, and it wouldn't surprise me to see Wolves do quite well in these game weeks. So I think if you're shorter forward and you're interested in taking a little bit of a punt in that third striker role, then I think he's a pretty good shout. Okay then everyone, thank you for watching. That wraps up my picks for game week 24. Obviously, there's a lot of carnage to come, so I think everyone should just take a deep breath and enjoy this single game week. We don't get too many of them at this time of year. As I said earlier, there will be a video coming out in preparation for kind of the stint game week 25 to 28-ish, where we've got blanks, doubles, and I'm going to look through the fixtures there and kind of point everyone in the right direction. So like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you are new. Check out the Patreon down below if you want even more services from us, and we will see you next time.